more time to jump in before we get started. But if you've ever joined a Read Theory webinar before, we always like to see who is joining us and where they're from. So that chat is open. Please feel free to say hello, share, what state, what country you're coming from today, and we'll get started very soon. Awesome. I should have brought a mug and actually made some hot cocoa. I'm really slacking on this one. Oh, North Carolina, Mary, same. All right. All right. So I see some more people are jumping in here. I'm loving what I'm seeing in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can get things kicked off because I know we are all in different time zones and probably really eager to hear from our special guest today because it is that time of year where, students start feeling a little bit different as they're getting more and more excited about break. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quickly. Awesome. Okay. Hello, everyone, again, and welcome to Keeping Students Engaged Before and During Break. I am Chelsea Lopez from the Read Theory team, as well as a former educator, having taught K through 8th grade, still a current coach as well. And I'm so excited that you all are here with us today, tonight, depending on your time zone. I'm here with my colleague, Courtney, as well as our special guest, Amy, who you will get to hear more about shortly and hear all of the fun things that she does with her class. As we all know, break season is officially upon us, which means students are a little extra festive this time of year. So today is all about how do we keep their learning on track while still embracing the fun of the season. Here is what we're going to cover today. You will get to meet again our guest Amy in just a bit. We're going to talk about the creative ways to keep students engaged before and during break, everything from motivational challenges to helpful data that you can share with families. And of course, as always, we do have a giveaway at the end. These are some high fashion options that you could walk away with today. These are very exclusive, extremely on trend Read Theory shirts, and they could be yours. Truly a collector's item. So make sure that you stick with us all the way through the end of this webinar so that you can have your runway debut. Now, as I mentioned, that chat is open. Please feel free to ask questions throughout during this time. And we're also going to start with a quick icebreaker game of this or that. So, again, throw those answers in the chat. I'm going to be keeping it open so I can see both. So, as you all know, the game this or that, you're going to get one of two options and you will share which one you would prefer. When I do this with students, I do like to have them go to different sides of the room. So it could be a fun way to kind of keep things festive as you're kicking off certain days. So our first option, hot chocolate or candy canes? Which one would you prefer? Okay, I'm saying hot chocolate. Mary, I'm right there with you. Oh, okay. Now I'm seeing some candy canes. I thought it was going to be all hot chocolate for a moment, and then a few candy canes jumped in there. Okay, awesome. Majority said hot cocoa, which is great because you're going to get to hear all about that challenge a little bit later on. Oh, Alyssa, now you're getting fancy. I love it so much. Our next this or that question, good night moon or the giving tree? Which would you prefer? All right, I'm seeing good night moon, giving tree. Okay, I'm actually starting to see a lot of giving trees. Okay. Awesome. I love the use of emojis. Super exciting. Okay, that one I feel like was a toss-up. It was like half and half, tree versus moon. Okay. The next one here is going to be winter break or spring break. Which break do you prefer? Both. Me too. I am right there with you. All right, again, this one seems like a pretty even split as well. I feel like having been a teacher, having both breaks is such a nice break in the school year sometimes. Awesome. And then our final question, which is not a this or that, it is more of just a quick response here, is what is one thing you absolutely refuse to do over break? I hope the answer is grading. Oh, yes. Cleaning. I wish I couldn't clean. I have 3 animals, and that would just be awful if I didn't. Getting up early, I love it. Cleaning again, reading, hearing from parents, that's also a nice break. Paperwork. Awesome. So again, the whole moral here is hopefully you all take some time to actually take care of yourself, some self-care, self-love, and take a break from the day-to-day of grading and all of those different things that, take up a lot of our time. So, with that, thank you for participating in our icebreaker. But I'd like to go ahead and introduce Amy Smith from Harbor Creek School District in PA. She's got endless creative ideas. She is basically famous for her hot cocoa reading challenge, and she has even whipped up something new for you all to try this year. So, as a sixth grade teacher, Amy is truly all about sparking genuine love of reading in her students. Her energy, creativity, and knack for making reading feel fun and personal truly shine in her classroom. So, with that, I'm going to throw it to Amy. So, take it away.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm super excited to be here with you tonight. I see people from all over the world. I saw Cambodia. That is so exciting. Um, a quick shout out. My superintendent is joining us tonight, Dr. Buckley Cook. He is amazing. We couldn't do what we do without him. So he really is so supportive and encouraging in our district. So thanks for joining us, Dr. Cook. And this was not for bonus points, but big shout out. I don't know how many of you are currently, real into read theory in your classrooms, but when your students log into read theory, my face has been popping up the last couple of weeks for you to join this webinar. And my students surprised me and said, "Hey, we saw your face pop up on our screen and we joined the webinar." And I was like, "You guys know, like, it's really for teachers." And they're like, "No, we're gonna do it." So I've got a kiddo online right now. She's so sweet. So big shout out to Miss Maya. Um, anyways, I let me tell you a little bit about myself. First of all, I'm a sixth grade language arts teacher. I am in my 26th year of teaching. I've been teaching sixth grade for 12 years. I've done pretty much the gamut of grade levels, but I never thought I'd say this, but I really love sixth graders. They're super cool. We are in an elementary building still. It's their last year in elementary school in our district. So, they're like the leaders of their school, and they're every bit of preteens, and they just love it. So I'm sure you're aware it's a little tricky getting kids today to read. And this is sort of how I stumbled upon read theory. Is I was really struggling with some of our post COVID learners, and their reading levels just weren't where I really wanted them to be by sixth grade. So I stumbled across read theory about 4 years ago now. And my students literally fell in love with it. I don't really know that it was anything that I necessarily did. Out of the norm, but my students just totally bought in. And so we participated in some of the read theory contests that they've had over the last few years. So what you have on your screen here are just some examples. We won a pizza party from read theory. We won this really cool banner hanging on my classroom wall above my classroom library. We came in first place in elementary schools in Pennsylvania in read theory. So those were some really exciting things. I was a finalist for Teacher of the Year in 2024. Just some little highlights. It's just it's become a part of the culture of my classroom. And I have siblings who are asking to do read theory when they get to sixth grade. So that's just super exciting to me that I have been able to find something that I can just kind of get kids to buy into. So if you guys wouldn't mind going to the next slide. Okay, so again, a simple start to my school year every year is just this poster. I hang it right outside my door. And I just simply bought some of the like Chromebook stickers or water bottle stickers online, and the kids all get to just pick which one they want and they put their name on it. And as they move through the levels, as they're earning their knowledge points, they get to just simply move their sticker. And this, I'm not sure why, but this is what draws them all in at the beginning. They want to just move this sticker and they're super excited to be able to do it. Um, it's really, really difficult to get to that theorist level. But the dangle for my students, and I brought it with me tonight. I brought it home from school as an example, just to show you guys. I don't know. I don't know if you all can still see me or if the slides are just showing, but it's on the slide too. But this yard. Oh, sorry. Here, look. I don't. Oh, my fuzzy back. Oh, here, look. I can make it show. Okay, here it is. Okay, so this is a yard sign. Simple. It's waterproof and you put it on those little like stakes, like political signs. Okay, thanks, girls. Um, and if you get to the theorist level, I'll come to your house and put a readers or leaders sign in your yard. I'll bring some balloons. It's just a little dangle out there for them. And my gosh, I have all these athletes in my class, these boys who won't pick up a book, but like they will read on read theory and they will do well and they're successful. So I just have found that this is a nice little addition to some room boards in my room that we do. So I just wanted to share that with everybody here tonight. I'll go to the next slide. Thanks. So new this year in Read Theory, they rolled out these really nice data collection um, pages that you can print out. I actually printed mine out for my parent teacher conferences this year, and parents just like were drawn to how much data that this provided. I like to tell parents, like, I look at grade level and where they're at. My biggest takeaway from these charts, though, I'm looking for some consistency instead of the big like up, down, up, down, up, down between grade levels. So I talk to my kids all the time. We look at data all the time. Like what can we do to improve our consistency in a grade level? Yes, I want to see you go up, but I'd rather see you stay, in the fourth, fifth grade range rather than going, sixth grade, second grade, sixth grade, second. So um, we talk a lot about that. And so it was really great to have conversation around this data with parents at the table. And I was just loving this to add to our conversation this year. That you're good. Go ahead. So the hot cocoa challenge, this apparently became like super epic last year. So very simple. It's not a lot of work. I know, what we all have, about 3 weeks in December between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And really there's a lot of kiddos who don't celebrate Christmas. So this is very kind of holiday neutral. So the hot cocoa challenge, I will kick mine off December 2nd in my own classroom. When the kids walk in, they all get a blank hot cocoa mug, um, just on a piece of cardstock, and they get to design it, and it has to represent them. So they all design their own mug. I laminate them, I hang them on the wall, and then for every 50 knowledge points that they get to add a marshmallow to their cup. And then if they earn mine, I usually do 500. If they get 500 knowledge points between December 2nd and December 19th, I think is our last day before break, they're invited to the hot cocoa party. I mean, it's fairly simple and straightforward. The kids absolutely fall in love with it. If you're not super familiar with the knowledge points, the directions are right on here. You get one knowledge point for every question that you get correct. Challenge questions are 3 knowledge points. If you pass the quiz, it's 15 knowledge points. And then if you get a perfect score, it's an additional 15. So those knowledge points add up fairly quickly for them. You can certainly set any goal that works for your classroom. And um, it's just a nice little motivator to get them through the month of December and still practicing their reading. Um, my students find that once they get up into like the fifth, sixth grade level in read theory, the the text gets difficult. It gets really kind of difficult for them. The questions get a little more difficult. Um, but it's just that little added challenge to really just focus in on um, those skills that we're teaching every day in the classroom. We talk a lot about context clues. They always get hung up on questions where it's asking about what a word means. And so it's just a really nice kind of teaching point in the moment when they're struggling on a question, where you can just really hone in on those individual students and their reading skills. So hot cocoa challenge is super exciting. It's super motivating, and simple. It's not anything that you have to put a ton of effort into. So I hope you give it a try. My students really love it. We all love hot cocoa, and it's super fun. So if you guys wouldn't mind going to the next slide. So here it is for you guys. Um, just so one other thing. So Read Theory tasked me to if I had any other things I've used over the years, and I have. So I'm just going to throw in here a few other ideas. If you're looking for something for over winter break, so once kiddos leave on their winter break until they come back in January, if you want to task them with a little challenge, this is a fun one, the snowman challenge. We did this one 2 years ago. So this one is again super simple but motivating. So uh, you have just a blank piece of paper. They can grab it at home, get a piece of construction paper, whatever, paper plate. And for the knowledge points that they earn or the quizzes that they pass, they get to draw parts of the snowman. So super simple, but the kids just loved it. They love to bring in their completed snowman. And then we live in the north and it's pretty snowy here. So our reward is usually a pretty inexpensive one. We usually let them have like an outdoor snow play day. And if they complete their snowman challenge. So super simple, easy to kind of send home that you can just simply continue to reinforce those reading skills. The next one, oh, let me just share this real quick. This is not necessarily read theory related. However, my students always put on a dramatic reading of the Polar Express. So I included here just a couple of pictures. We always have cookies and hot cocoa for the whole school when they come. A grade level at a time comes and we sit on the back of our stage with the curtains closed. Kind of looks like a train car. We try to make it look like that. And then my students do this dramatic reading. We all wear jammies and robes and slippers and just really get into the spirit. And 2 years ago, I had some students that were really struggling with their reading parts for Polar Express. And so I really wanted them to practice a little more. And what we did, this was super cool. I had a couple of sixth graders that were struggling readers go down to our second grade. And they would sit and they would actually do read theory. They would read, they were on like a second grade reading level. So they would read the text from read theory and then talk through the questions with the second graders. So the sixth graders, think that they're being a buddy to the second grader and helping out a younger student, practicing their reading. And it really just boosted their confidence to then be ready and prepared to do their big dramatic reading for Polar Express. So it was just a way that I found that worked well to tie together. Sometimes when we do reading independently and we're not reading aloud, it's a little bit different skill set. So it just really helped for them to read the read theory text out loud to somebody else. And who better than, a second grader or younger student who, you know, just wants to have an older buddy. So this was a nice little tie-in. The next slide here. So this takes you into spring. So this is my March Madness reading challenge. I will say the kiddos sometimes, they get a little like, oh, we got to do read theory again. So we do a little, we'll break a little bit in January, February, but in March, they're ready to, kind of kick it into high gear again. So March Madness works just like a bracket with basketball. The kids join a team. So now we're combining readers, like 3 to 4 readers on a team, and they compete head to head, team to team for knowledge points. And then they work their way through the brackets. They have to design a jersey, a team jersey, and you can kind of see those in the picture on the right there. And then we just hang the bracket in the hall. And as your team wins at the end of the week, your jersey moves on to the next week's bracket. And then at the end, 2 things. The kiddo who has the highest knowledge points at the end out of everybody wins a basketball. And then the team that wins at the end with the most points, our phys ed teacher and our principal are super gracious, and they'll do a little like student versus principal, gym teacher, basketball game with them, and then they get these medals that they have around their necks there. So it's just, one more way to kind of tie in what's already going on, a real simple, bracketology kind of approach, but just a way to keep tying in those reading skills and just motivating. That's the biggest part about getting these kiddos at this age to read, is just the motivation factor. The next, oh, that's the end of mine. Oh, sorry, girls. Um,
No.
I thought there was one more, but I guess just kind of in wrapping up in 2 minutes or less, I guess, here. I just want to reiterate that read theory has been just really a blessing to my classroom, to bring motivation and just a different lens on reading. Uh, the kids really love the short passages, even though the text can be somewhat difficult once they get up in the upper grade levels. But it's just a nice approach, a different strategy to try. It's not the be all end all, of course. It's a tool in our toolbox. Um, but it just has been really helpful in motivating, especially those kiddos who just are not motivated to read. So I just want to say thank you to Read Theory. I mean, I never expected to be, sharing these ideas. But I love motivating kids, and they really just seem to really love it. So thanks for having me tonight. And, obviously, if you have questions, throw them in the chat here. I'll be on for a little while here, and I'll try to answer them.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Amy.
Sure, thank
Um,
you.
for those who are here, or if you're watching this later, you've heard all of these amazing ideas. There is a reason that Amy was a finalist for Teacher of the Year, because she has so much creativity and is so great at getting her students motivated. So we want to make it even easier for you all to try this with your students. So you can scan this QR code, and that'll give you a free 30-day trial of Read Teacher Premium, no strings attached. So it's just a great way to explore the tools that Amy mentioned, especially that data features that help keep parents in the loop. So you can snag that trial there. And before we get to our giveaway, so don't leave just yet. I did just want to pause to see if there were any questions that we could answer. Feel free to throw some into the chat. I'm just kind of going back and looking for a second here. And if you didn't get that QR code, there it is again if you want that free trial. Awesome. And I'm just gonna keep moving forward while I wait to see if there are any there. Um, there is a flashback Black Friday sale that'll be dropping. So you can also join our VIP Facebook group so that you don't miss it. We'll also post new feature updates and free resources here as well. So if you're not in it already, definitely request to join. We will throw that link in the chat. Um, awesome. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to Courtney so that we can go ahead and do our giveaway here. So you will have a chance of winning one of these three shirts, Slay Reading Goals, Oh, What Fun It Is to Teach, or Super Cool Teacher. So keep in mind which one you might want if you win. And with that, I'm going to stop sharing so I can throw it over to Courtney.
All right. Here we go. Kelsey, I tested this. This is our first time using this. So we're going to do 2 tonight. Kelsey, guess what? You're number 1. And Shannon, you're number 2.
Awesome. I love that, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and put my email in the chat. So for our 2 winners, if you want to just email me the shirt that you preferred, as well as your size and your school address, we will get those shipped out to you ASAP. I'm going to hang out here for a few more minutes in case there are questions. But really, I just want to thank you all for spending your time with us today. We hope that you're walking away with strategies that are going to help your students stay motivated and learning all the way through the break. So thanks so much, everyone, and have a great night.